everyone, so today's video is a really exciting one. I'm going to be sharing with you a bunch of everyday, more neutral eyeshadow palettes, and these are some of my favorite palettes. And I do have a variety of more cheaper, inexpensive palettes, and then also high-end and luxury palettes. So the first palette is from Juvia's place. This is the Nubian, and this is really just a perfect everyday palette. And it also has some deeper tones, so you could do a deeper look with this, and you could also go a little bit more glam with this too, because the metallic shades are really intense. And I also really love the Juvia's place matte formula. And also these palettes are pretty inexpensive and you can always find them on sale. So I feel like this is a really good option. The next one is from Dose of Colors, and this is their 5-pan baked browns palette. And these palettes are all matte shades. So I feel like this is a good option if you don't necessarily like shimmer, or you don't want shimmer or metallic shades, and you just want a really simple basic matte palette. These palettes are a little bit more on the high-end side, but they also have these matte 5-pan shadows in different color schemes. So they have like a berry one and a mauve one and a cool toned one. So if you prefer a certain like tone or shade, you can go for that instead of just the more neutral baked browns option. The next one is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette, and I had to include this, but this is more of obviously a soft glam palette, so this palette can be a little bit more intense, and these shades are definitely very pigmented. And you could do still a really simple, easy, everyday look, but you could also build it up with some of these deeper tones and get a really intense look as well. This is a really good everyday, more neutral palette. And I also really love the formula of these. The metallic shades are super intense, and the matte shades can be, like, they are very pigmented, so I feel like this might not be very good if you're a beginner and you don't really have much experience with eyeshadows. I feel like sometimes this can be a little difficult to work with just because it's so pigmented. The next palette is one of my favorite palettes in my collection. This is the Colored Raine Queen of Hearts palette, and this can be more of a colorful palette if you use like these berry tones, and like this orange color is a little bit more colorful, but you can also get a really easy everyday look out of this with some of these lighter tones. So I do really enjoy this palette all around, and I do get use out of every single one of these shades. And again, the formula is amazing in this. The metallic shades are super metallic, and the mattes are really easy to blend. Next is a classic, more neutral palette. This is the Tartelette in Bloom palette. And this, I feel like, is a perfect everyday, like simple, like this would be perfect for a beginner because these shadows are like foolproof. They all go together really well, and you can't really go wrong with this palette. It has some really pretty neutral shades, and you can also deepen up your look a little bit with some of these as well. Next is a high-end, pretty expensive palette. This is the Marc Jacobs Scandalust eyeshadow palette. And I feel like if you're only buying one neutral palette, like you don't have 50 eyeshadow palettes in your collection, sometimes it's nice to buy a more luxury product. And this is one I really love because I would get use out of all of the shades in here. And you also have this berry tone that gives you a little pop of color if that's what you're looking for. And this is also somewhat a dupe for the ABH Modern Renaissance palette. So if you like that kind of color scheme, I think this is a really good option. And this also has really good everyday colors, and I feel like this has everything you need to complete a full look. Next is a palette from Voss. This is the Holy Grail palette, and I feel like this is good if you like to have a bigger palette, and this just gives you kind of more options because it does have 16 shades in it, obviously. Wait, no it doesn't. This has 20 shades in it, so you do get a lot of, not necessarily variety because these are all neutral shades, but it does have like a cooler section over here and then more warm tones over here. So I do like that. You can do cool tones and warm tones looks with this. So I really love this palette, and I also love the Violet Voss formula, and I'm saying that with all of these. but the metallic shades are really metallic and the mattes are really, really easy to blend. So I feel like this is a really good option. Next is a drugstore palette. This is the Milani Pure Passion palette, and I've heard that this is being discontinued, so I think it is like on sale some places, like you might find it at TJ Maxx and stuff. But this is a really pretty neutral palette and it's really inexpensive. Like I said, it's a drugstore palette and it does have some just really easy everyday neutral colors in it. Obviously, that's what all these palettes are. But it also has some deeper shades down here so you can deepen up your look, or you can just use these lighter shades and get a really simple everyday look. So next I have a palette from Urban Decay. This is the Naked 3 palette. And this is good if you like cooler tones and those more purpley mauve tones, because obviously that's what this palette is. And it doesn't have very much variety in here, but it does have some deeper tones that you can deepen up your look with. And it also has a bunch of really pretty, more lighter shades, so you really can't go wrong with this palette. It's like all these shades go together really well, so it's hard to mess up when you're using this palette. So I feel like this would be a really good beginner palette. And then the last palette we have here is from Colourpop, and this is a little bit more colorful, but this is the Sweet Talk palette, and so obviously this is more peach toned. So if you like those peachy shades, and especially for summer, I think this is a really pretty palette. This isn't necessarily like a neutral palette, but it's not like too colorful. So this would be good for you if you enjoy those peachy tones, and you can still create a really simple, easy, everyday look with this. But this palette does have a couple of glitter shades, so I know some people don't like the pressed glitters because they're not technically eye safe, but I really love glitter, so I don't mind them. But maybe if you don't like glitter, this wouldn't be the palette for you. So that's it for all of my recommendations for more everyday neutral palettes, and I really hope this helped you in some way. And also let me know what other videos you guys would like to see down below in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, I post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, so if you want to see more from me, make sure to subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notified every time I post. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.